Good evening and thanks for joining us. Alaska Senator Mark Begich was in the interior for one day only earlier today, making the rounds at a number of spots.
But it was the first stop for the Democratic federal lawmaker that drew much of the attention as well as the controversy. News Center 11's Daryl Lewis was in town with Senator Begich Wednesday and has more.
Thanks. On Wednesday, Alaska U.S. Senator Mark Begich made a number of stops around the interior, chief among them one stop at the North Star Counseling on Aging's Senior Center. But his most pressing issue and stop centered around the fishing dilemma.
Alaska did a very good job compared to the rest of the country. Do we have challenges still? Absolutely.
It's called the Magnuson-Stevens Fishery Conservation and Management Act, commonly referred to as the Magnuson-Stevens Act. And it's the primary law governing marine fisheries management in the United States. And it was also at the crux of roundtable discussions held Wednesday downtown, and including Begich, who sits on a congressional committee centered around fisheries.
When there's a major piece of legislation like this being rewritten or updated, there are groups that feel like they've been left out. And so today was to really show that we want to include everyone and hear their ideas. Not every idea will get to the table, but to have them at the table today was very important.
The law named after Warren Magnuson, former U.S. Senator from Washington State, and of course, former Alaska Senator Ted Stevens. During today's discussions, Begich, who has been making his way around talking to commercial fishermen and the like, is now concentrating his efforts on those that live the subsistence way. And they let the Democratic senator know how they're feeling in the midst of not only declining numbers, but laws they say severely jeopardize their way of life.
I feel like it's not illegal to try to feed your families, and that's what they're doing. And it's unfortunate. I'm very irritated. I'm very impatient with the way things are going in terms of fisheries management.
I think this is probably one of the bigger issues that we face in the state of Alaska. I think there's a real need for inclusion of tribal folks in these processes that have sort of excluded us for the longest time. And I can't emphasize enough the need for the Native community and the general public to voice their concern on the reauthorization of the Magnuson-Stevens Act.
The News Center will have more on this story this weekend during the Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News and News Center Final.